questions, just now Dr. Wong have shown you the Australia, how many ministers, how many ministries they had and all this. But to me, there must be a measurement. I'm not quite agree with Dr. Wong saying that the population is not have no relationship with the number of the ministers. I think it's important because minister is of course manage the country, but manage the country consists of what? Consists of all the rakyat. Rakyat is who? All is the people over here. So there must be some relationships between the number of ministers and also the populations. For example, we can see the doctor and patients ratio. There must be, whether if you ask me, say, hey, Malaysia, do you have enough medical doctor or not? Do we have enough or not? Or more than enough? Don't know. There must be a ratio, there must be a measurement. So in WHO, recommended one medical doctor, at least in the country, they can treat at least 600 patients. So that's why this is the ratio that we have. Then in fact, in the university also the same. We are talking about the ratios of the lecturers versus the students. So there must be a measurement. So that's why if you ask me whether our number of ministers is too many in Malaysia or not, it's a question mark. We really have to look at different perspectives. So I'm trying to look at, Dr. Wong wants to look at the angle on what? On the number of ministers and the portfolio of the ministries. Then as an academician, I also have to do some homework first. So that's why I look at the number of ministers and the populations of the countries. So when I look at it, a lot of people say, Sweden have 21 ministers. 21. Is it many? I don't know. But then you look at their population, only 9 million. 9 million orang is there, but we have 21 ministers. Look at Singapore, our close friends. They have 18 ministers, but population 5.4 million people only over there. So that's why if you say the number of ministers control the most many people in that country, then you have to salute to the China. China has the populations of the 1.3 billion people, but only 20 ministers only. But is it true or not? So that's the reason why there must be a measurement, must be there. So I quite agree that, as I say, you don't really, there must be a standard, must be a measurement that we have to do it in order to see whether it is enough or not. So that's why I will say, if you look at Thailand, they have 35 ministers, but their population is 67 million. So, based on these calculations, our Malaysia one is one minister take care of 0.85 million people. 0.85. Okay, this is if you compare to, if you want to choose from Sri Lanka, for your information, you tahu berapa minister dia? 67, 67. But the population is 20 million. Okay, so that's why I would say that there must be measurements that need to be carried out. Global average of ministers they found from the Google. Sometimes Google also have helped us to do this type of jobs. It's around 30. It's around 30 ministers.